cute was that? My cat's so cute. I think I have like 3 cavities back here. I haven't been to the dentist in years. What am I talking about? The topic of this video is fear of judgment holding you back. I like my last few videos. I didn't write anything down because I've liked like speaking from the heart and seeing what comes out. After talking to a lot of you through my Patreon program, there's a number of factors that are keeping all of you guys, I think, from full recovery. And I definitely think that fear of judgment is one of the biggest factors. I could not think of that word. I get it. I totally get it. Like, I was the same way. Like, isn't everyone gonna notice that I gained all the weight back after like losing it, and like I'm gonna be like such a failure? People are gonna think I'm ugly, or like, oh Jesus, like I have no self-control, or like I'm fat, or whatever. And having always been in high school, I was always like the fatter friend, so I was like really self-conscious of becoming that again. What I failed to think about in those instances was that it really doesn't matter. No, I mean, of course, if it feels like it matters to you, then it matters, but in the grand scope of life and to actual other people, it doesn't matter at all, because eventually I just decided to throw that fear to the wayside and gain the weight. And I told a lot of my friends, so they like knew it was happening. Then some of them friends that I wasn't like directly near, like friends from back home, because I was in college, I didn't tell just because I didn't even think about it. They weren't around me. And so the friends that I did tell, obviously nobody said anything, but by the time I was like fully recovered and mentally stable and able to handle things and I asked them about it, everyone was like, all we noticed is that you were hanging out with us more. Literally was what a lot of my friends said. They were like, the biggest thing that we noticed that changed in you is that you started coming out and hanging out with us more, and we love it. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. I went home in May of 2016, or May or June of 2016, right before I moved out to LA. So I'd been at my overshoot set point or whatever for like 8 months, right? And this was like the first time I'd gone home to New Hampshire to see all my old friends. We were all out to dinner, and one of them was just like, hey Rachel, by the way, you look so amazing, like so proud of you, you look incredible. And everybody at the table was just like, yes, oh my God, so happy to see you like this, like so happy to see you out. And I was just like, all of my fears and like everything that I had before were so unfounded, because by the time I actually gained all the weight, the people who were scared for me when I was sick were so happy to see me better. The people who didn't necessarily know said they didn't really see a change, except for in my behavior, which was a lot happier. And the people who did know and didn't really know to be worried about me necessarily, just thought I lost a lot of weight, said I looked amazing and healthy. And I realized that all of these fears, they were just so in my head. They were just something that my eating disorder was telling me to hold me back, because the truth is, the people who love you are never going to judge you like that. And the people who don't love you, who aren't your friends, aren't worth shaping your life around. Like, maybe there were people in the periphery of my life that I don't even know anymore who would have cared. Maybe they thought something in their head, but like, what am I gonna sacrifice my whole life because of what one person might think in their head? If someone said something to you like negatively about your weight gain or about the way you look, just be like really honest. I find the best defense is just being like, I'm recovering from an eating disorder, because then people are gonna feel like huge assholes, like they should, by the way. Don't feel guilty. They said something really mean to you. You don't have to say mean back, just be like, oh, like it's interesting that you notice I'm actually recovering from an eating disorder, so what I'm doing right now is for that. And then typically people will shut the fuck up. If they don't, this person is a bully. Identify a bully and walk away from the situation. If it's someone that you love that's continuously harming you, you need to just be completely upfront and honest. Be like, you're really harming me. I don't know like what value you get out of making me feel bad, but just always taking the high road and always just like trying to empathize with the person that's being mean to you. It honestly cuts them down real quick. And yeah, and just staying strong and knowing that you are beautiful and amazing and doing something so wonderful for yourself. That's really all I had to say. I have a whole video called Comparison is the Thief of Joy, so that might help out some of you guys on this topic. But because I knew I wasn't gonna have too much to say, I took questions from you guys on Instagram. I'll take like 2 questions here and then I gotta go. And then I'll take more later. Okay, so the first question. Won't people I've seen in the past deep in my eating disorder think, what happened to you? yeah, so about that. So people that you may have only met when you were like really thin, or met at first when you were in your eating disorder, sure, they might think what happened to you. They might think, wow, she looks amazing. They might think like, wow, she looks healthy. She needed to gain that weight back. Or they might not. They might think, oh, she just gained some weight. Like, we're all, you know, nobody's gonna fault you for just gaining some weight. Also, like, people gain weight all the time. It's not a big deal. If someone asks you, you could be totally honest. Like, I was sick and now I'm not sick anymore. Like, that's a really common reason why people who are thin gain weight. You don't have to say you have an eating disorder, although I suggest it, because why is there this stigma around eating disorders? You know how fucking common they are? You might find some people who are like, oh my God, I've really struggled with that too. Like, I met a lot of women in my life that, like, in my personal life, that have come to me and been like, I'm so happy that you're so open and honest about this stuff, because I've struggled with this. And they're women that I would have never guessed. Who cares what people in your life think? Like, this is like the biggest thing for me. Are you willing to sacrifice your life, your quality of life, because of the opinions of others? Opinions of others that ultimately don't matter, because the most important opinion is your own self-esteem, which is something that you need to be working on. I know you guys are like, well, it does matter. Like, I'm sorry that you're able to rise above it. It does matter to me. It doesn't have to. Like, that's something that's holding you back. So that's something that you guys can like think about and work on. The opinion of others may matter to you now, but you, like, your eating disorder wants the opinion of others to matter to you, because that's a good way to manipulate you. And you're making that decision to let other people's opinions of you matter. That's something that can be worked through and worked on, and it ultimately will set you free. Yeah, so a lot of these questions are like, here, like, I'm worried that people will think I'm fat / too large. Like, I just want to follow that train of thought. So people think you're fat. I used to worry that people would think I'm fat all the time. I still think maybe people probably do think I'm fat, but like, I had other things in my life to worry about, whether or not other random people I don't know or care about think I'm fat, or even if people I care about think I'm fat. Other people can have whatever opinions they want of you. I think what it's really important to think about is, like, if someone's going to think about it in a negative way, which you will be surprised how few people will. But if some random person who doesn't matter does, or even if some important person in your life, like a parent or something, does, those negative opinions, like thinking you're too fat, are a huge reflection on the own person's issues and psychology. So hypothetically, if I had a friend who was really mean and judgmental to me because of my weight gain and was like, you know, you're getting really fat, like blah, blah, blah. That, or like, you're eating too much. Like, are you sure you should be eating all of that? Thank God not a lot of people say that to me, because I would punch them in the face. No, what I would really do is I would just be like, oh, I'm good, I'm all good, thank you though. In my head, I would punch them in the face, you know? That person clearly has a lot of issues with themselves, with their own concept of identity and self-worth being tied to your vanity, and that's on them to work through their own issues. But they can't project that shit on me, because I'm better than that. And I don't need that judgment to feel validated in life. I have the people that I have myself. I just urge you to, when someone says something hurtful, or you think someone's thinking something hurtful, to remember that that has almost nothing to actually do with you, and everything to do with their own internal issues that they're projecting onto you. Because that's what insecure people do. Insecure project their own issues onto other people to try and like validate them or make themselves feel better, and it's bullshit. But it's just, as long as you recognize it, then it can't hurt you. Don't let it hurt you. Okay, there's a couple more good questions in there, but I am running late and have to go make breakfast, so bye. How do I do this so the lighting doesn't suck and it's not super awkward? Just hold you. I'm holding you so gently in my hand right now. Oh. Oh, it's the wrong one. It's 8:30. I've been at work for a hot minute. Let me turn the AC off. Let's get some questions answered. Okay.
I forget what I said this morning, honestly, so I might repeat myself a few times here, but one person says, I have been underweight for 14 years. What the fuck will people think when I start to eat again? Oh no, what will people start to think what will people think? Oh fuck, it's been a long day. What will people think when I start to eat and gain? A lot of them will probably think, thank God this person is finally taking care of themselves. A lot of people thought that about me, which I thought was crazy because I definitely didn't look sick. But people know, you know? People can understand and see when someone has a problem. So good people will be like, I'm so happy that girl is taking care of herself. And the people who aren't worth having in your life. How can you not get triggered by your family's comments and perceptions of your body and weight? This whole video is about letting go of the fear of judgment hold you, like not letting the fear of judgment hold you back. And all these questions kind of run in a similar vein, which is, how do I do that? So I'm realizing I just need to answer that question, and I think a lot of these concerns will go away. One is always realizing it doesn't matter. I feel like I say that about a lot of topics, but it's because when you're sick, your eating disorder just thoroughly convinces you that all of these things, all of these opinions, your weight, what you look like, what this fake persona that you've created, it all is so important. And you are important, and your life is important, and that's basically it. So like, if you are miserable because of your eating disorder, if you are physically unhealthy, mentally unhealthy, which it's not even an if. You have an eating disorder, you are all of those things, then the most important thing is getting you out of that situation and into a better one. People's opinions be damned. This is your life. And I've said this before, but only you can choose how you want to live it. And if you are going to choose to live it in a way in which other people's opinions are going to hold you back from living it the best way possible, then that's something that you have to understand is on you. I know that kind of sounds harsh, but it's true. And I know it can be hard to hear because I also was very concerned with what people would think. And that was a big part of what held me back, was not necessarily that I was afraid of weight gain, although I was. It was a lot to do with the reason I was afraid of weight gain is because I thought other people would perceive me differently after I had built up this like persona of a healthy, clean eating, yoga workout girl. And I was like, what are people gonna think? I've been this person my whole life, and I don't know, like, it's gonna be crazy. And it wasn't crazy. I actually just tweeted about this, so I'm literally gonna read my tweets chain out because I think it's also relevant to this topic and I wanna talk about it. Here's my tweet, I'm gonna read them. So I said, these are my wise words. This was this morning I tweeted this. Let's talk about personal identity for a sec. And then I'm gonna go off tweet for a second. This is about personal identity, but it's also about shedding this like personal identity that your eating disorder has created. And I think doing that is a big part of letting go of what other people think about you. So that's how this is relevant. When I went all in on recovery and quit exercise, gained weight, etc., I worried what would become of the clean eating yogi persona that I had donned for so long. I truly thought that I was that clean eating yogi to my core. I thought that going against the virtues of my self-imposed identity by eating crap and not working out would make me lose my sense of self. Instead, I eventually flowered into a new persona with new passions and drives that were not focused around food and exercise. My personal identity changed, sure, but I became a better version of myself for it. A girl who was not so obsessed with what she should be doing and just did what she wanted. I am who I am without needing to intertwine my sense of self with exercise, food, or dieting. And the truth is, we are all constantly changing beings, so it's not abnormal that our interests and therefore our identity will change over time. Whether you're worried what others will think or what you'll think of yourself, realize that what's most important is that you're happy. I am more than the sum of my parts, and so are you. You'll still be your most authentic self even when you detangle your identity from your food and exercise choices. Don't let one persona hold you back from discovering even more of you. Boom. So that's a good way to think about it when you are like worried about what people are gonna think, like you've been perceived for X number of years as this type of person. Well, we're not all one type of person for our entire lives. So it's not that crazy that someone would change, and it's not that crazy that that person will be you. I don't know, I'm gonna go eat. I'm so hungry. Okay, bye. Hi. Meow. Hi. Meow. 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 Oh, I totally forgot to say goodbye to you guys in the car. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it turned out good. Look at these super budget nachos that I made. It's literally just tortilla chips, black beans, salsa, and hot sauce, because I don't have a lot of things in my fridge right now. Actually, it might work though. Looks pretty good. I wish I had vegan cheese. Oh, nutritional yeast. You're not wearing any pants. Nutritional yeast, that's what I was gonna do. Okay, yeah, I'm really gonna go now. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, hello, my name is Rachel. This is Ladle by Ladle. I make videos on body positivity, self-love, intuitive eating, veganism, and eating disorder recovery, and I'd love to have you with me. I have recently started a Facebook group for all of my patrons. So if you are interested in joining my Facebook recovery support group, you can do so for as little as $1 a month on my Patreon. And while you're there, you might check out some of the more other options and you might enjoy those as well. Who knows? Thought I'd plug it though. For any of those of you who are interested, sentences are hard. I'm gonna go watch Big Brother. Bye.